What is up, my people? It's Marsh and Jen from Hallux here.
Yeah, we just finished watching Sony's State of Play. We wanted to give you all a quick update on all the games that were announced and covered. So let's jump right into it.
So indie games made up a large portion of the show, and I was actually surprised because I didn't think there would be any PS5 games on here, and they actually did discuss a few that were already announced and announced 2 new ones. So we'll jump into that shortly.
Yeah, so the first game that they kicked off the show with was Crash 4, and I feel like this was by far my favorite gameplay.
For sure.
Footage that they showed, I mean, it just looked super fun.
It really reminds me of like Rayman Legends when we played that, like a platformer sure. Like that. But go ahead.
And they also explained how you can not only have several different playthroughs with different experiences and different modes that they've added, but also being able to play through the whole game as Coco, which is something that I really like. They said that they definitely made her a more prominent figure in the story. So I thought that was a really cool addition.
Yeah, definitely. And then also with Rayman, so Rayman Legends was just side scroller, but this one looks so much better. And I feel like they add so much more replayability with the mode where you can actually play back a level and everything's switched to the other side. There's one where you can play underwater where you have to actually paint the level. I thought that was like super cool and super creative.
Yeah, so Crash will be coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on October 2nd of this year. And as of now, there's been no announcement that this game will actually be available on PS5. So we'll see if they make it dual.
Yeah, and they actually showed Hitman VR after that. And this one, they didn't show much. They just really showed like kind of what the world will look like inside the goggles, I believe. And it's funny because towards the end, he walks up and he pulls out a cord like he's about to strangle someone. And I'm thinking like, okay, they're probably not going to show this on State of Play, especially for something that's POV. And they didn't. They skipped out on that part. But then later on another game we're going to talk about, they actually show someone get shot through the neck with an arrow.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
I thought that was pretty gory, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, and then the next game that they showed was Braid. I think this is like a remastered version of the original game. They enhanced the graphics, add different like narration aspects. I didn't really find that too exciting, but maybe it's just because I'm not familiar with it. Let me know in the comments if this is a game that you guys played. Are you guys excited for the remake?
Yeah, and this is something that we had never played, but it actually looks interesting with the time aspect. So this is actually something that is somewhat on my radar. And then after this game, they showed Spelunky 2. This is one that you really thought looked good.
Yeah, I thought it was super cute. Like their graphics,
the animations were really cool.
Yeah, and it's really small. Like everything's small. So they had like little people, little dogs. So I just
little
like
guns,
little everything just makes it cuter, of course. But it actually looked really fun. And even the guy who was narrating the game actually said, you know, it's fun, but it's actually really challenging. So there's a lot of different like what do they call them? Caves or different ways you can go throughout the story.
Yeah.
And all these different challenges that kind of come up. So it really looked fun. And they actually added a multiplayer option to this game that I thought would have been really fun.
It looks really cool too on that. Yeah. And so with all the games, we're not going to go over each one in detail because we're kind of trying to keep the video short, but I will still name them. So for other PS4 games, we have Genshin. That was another indie game, I believe. Then we had Aeon Must Die. We had Anno Mutationem or something like that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
But after that, they went back to PlayStation VR with Vadar Immortal. What did you think about that one? The Star Wars games like in VR?
I didn't really think much about it. I mean, I thought it looked cool. I'm not really as familiar with that. And I haven't played VR. So it was really just kind of cool graphics. But I didn't really have an opinion either way on that one.
Yeah. And that one, so I haven't played VR either or PS4 VR. But it looked pretty cool. I actually thought from seeing it that you would play as Darth Vader and it didn't look like that. It looks like maybe you would face him, but that's cool too.
Yeah.
And so my favorite part of this was actually when they showed Control. This is a game that was already released and it's been on my list for a while. I haven't had a chance to play it, but they're having I believe it said a second expansion for that game. But I don't know. The trailer just looks super cool. We're going to put it up here, but I thought it was really tight. And after that, they actually named Auto Chess. This is another smaller game. And then they have one called Pedestrian. Now with Pedestrian, that was the one where it's like the kind of the figure you always see on like a bathroom sign.
Like a stick figure.
Yeah, like a stick figure, and then they actually start walking through. It's kind of like looked more like a puzzler, but I thought that one looked really interesting, and the animation looked really good.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that one was one I would definitely check out just because it was different and it was like more of a puzzle game. So that really wraps up the PS4 game announcements. So we'll go ahead and jump into the PS5 games. The first PS5 games that they actually showed was this game called Pathless. And I feel like this one was like the longest gameplay footage that they showed of them. I'm not sure if I'm tripping or not, but
outside of Godfall probably was technically longer, but Pathless they showed.
Or maybe it just seemed long because I mean the game I didn't really get like so much of the point of it, but it's an open world game. They actually said that there is going to be no map. You just like free roam essentially, and you use this was it like spirit eyes or something like that you can kind of like navigate through the world
and see where you've went and then other places to go. It definitely looked very like interesting, and you actually use a bow and arrow to like travel around fast, and you have like an eagle that can help you. I thought it was cool. My favorite part of that was when they showed the boss fight. I thought that looked really interesting. That was my favorite part. But before we got to that, I was kind of like, but then when we got to the boss fight, I was like, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely like the aspect of like the spirit world and some of the graphics. They have like you have like a eagle companion. I thought that was really cool. And it's really unique, I would say. But yeah, so after Pathless, they jumped into Bugsnax, and that game really looked cool. That's actually going to be dropping this holiday.
Yeah, and that one I would say is definitely more for like a kid's game. And like when we see stuff like that, we always think of like our nieces and nephews and stuff. We feel like they would definitely like that.
Yeah.
With this one, it's like, I think you play as animals and then all the bugs are kind of like food.
Yeah.
So there's like a spider, but it looked like a burger. And then there was like this carrot that
looked like a snake.
Or something like. So it just looked really cool for like kids and stuff.
Yeah. And then the next PS5 game that they showed was Hood, Outlaws, and Legends.
This is the one where the guy shot the arrow and it went through his neck that we were talking about earlier.
It was sorry. Yeah, you're fine. It was kind of gory. But this game for PS5 is going to be dropping in 2021. So that's not going to be coming this year. And the last game that they showed was Godfall, which would be coming out in 2020. And I think this is a highly anticipated game. They definitely spent a lot of time going through different aspects of the game in terms of, what type of game it was. They even kind of went into detail with some of the different weapons.
Yeah, this one got a lengthy presentation and they called it like a looter/shooter or a looter/slasher, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's how they characterize it. But I didn't think it looked that interesting, me personally. And in the comments we saw, there was a lot of people saying like just writing L and they didn't like it. And like this game takes an L. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, there was an additional one. I believe this was another new announcement. I don't know how it's pronounced, if it's Temtem, but it's Temtem. That's another PS5 game coming out in 2021.
Yeah, so the one thing I will say about Temtem is that I'm not sure if this is correct or not. You guys can let me know in the comments, but I dead ass thought that they showed characters from Pokemon. I don't know if it's just a similarity or
that's what the creatures look like, just look like Pokemon people.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like exactly like Pokemon characters, but hey, I'm going to let you guys tell me if that's correct or not.
Oh my God. But overall, I really like the state of play, and they actually set expectations well because I wasn't expecting any like huge news, but we still got a couple of new PS5 games. So I thought that was pretty cool. We did notice that there was a couple of things that reminded us of the cartoon Avatar, like on that game Godfall. They mentioned that all their worlds are made up of earth, air, fire, and water. And there was another game that had something similar that made us think of that. But I don't know if y'all know, but The Legend of Korra is about to drop on Netflix this month, I'm pretty sure. And that's one of my favorite shows of all time. And I would put season 3 of that show up against any other anime. But I mean, when they bring in the Red Lotus and everything, it's crazy. But we can finish this discussion in the comments, though.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I love Korra, and I do love the original Avatar, The Last Airbender. So that's a wrap on the PlayStation State of Play. I thought it was a good announcement overall. I am really excited about Crash in particular. Like you said, we knew that we weren't getting like a PS5 release date or a price, but we are on the lookout for that. So once that drops, we'll definitely keep everyone updated. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. We really appreciate it. And be sure to subscribe for all things PlayStation and Ghost of Tsushima. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.